admire Curtis Sliwa, and I think that he takes his life into his own hands doing what he does.
Curtis Sliwa, the Guardian Angels founder and leader.
We've got Curtis Sliwa from WABC Radio.
Curtis Sliwa, legendary New York.
Drive at 5 with Curtis Sliwa. What happened today? Why? And what's next? Live, local, on it. 77 WABC.
Come fly with me. Let's fly away. If you can use some exotic booze, there's a bar in far Bombay.
7 minutes after the hour of 5. Maybe the bar in the back of the Trump jet, the 727. That was squiring Donald Trump and his new found supporter. Unexpectedly, this past Friday, Chris Christie, governor of New Jersey, who not only announced his support on Friday on this, the drive home at 5, where we reconnect with all of you who may have disconnected from us during the Imus show because you had to work your 9 to 5. But we're reconnecting with you because Chris Christie couldn't be more emphatic in Arkansas, where they love to make that suey, suey, suey call as Razorbacks. No, it's Arkansas. Anyway, Arkansas is where the rally took place. But anyway, here's what Chris Christie had to say.
I am proud and happy to be part of this team. I want Texas to be Trump country on Tuesday. And so, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and my privilege to introduce the next president of the United States, Donald Trump.
Oh, I got so confused. Texarkana, they're right on the border. Expected to go to cruise, both Texas and Arkansas. But after Chris Christie warmed up the crowd, and it was time for Donald Trump to take to the microphones to the thousands that had gathered off the tarmac of the airport, all of a sudden there was an open mic, and Donald Trump sounded like chasing Chris Christie away. Get in the plane and go home. The plane is over there. Go home. Well, maybe because all of a sudden it was starting to filter into Donald Trump that over the past few weeks, then candidate Chris Christie had some very unnice things to say about candidate Donald Trump.
He's been a very successful businessman. He has lots of talents. He has absolutely no ability in this area.
We'll be very careful about candidates who stand up and say, ban all Muslims from coming to the country. Ridiculous.
It'll be a beautiful, wonderful wall. It'll be an incredible wall. The wall will be unbelievable.
Yeah, you can't say, Mr. Speaker, you're fired. Mr. Majority Leader, you're fired.
We're not picking an entertainer-in-chief. We're not casting a TV show.
I tell everybody who goes to a Donald Trump event, if you get to ask a question, just ask him how. First, he says he's going to build a wall across the entire border between the United States and Mexico. How? How is he going to make the Mexicans pay for the wall? How? They are a sovereign nation.
And I'm happy to take any observations he has, even if he can only do them in 140 characters or less, which seems to be the best way he can communicate.
I don't think it would be in the best interest of our party to have someone who I don't think would be an effective president to be the nominee.
Donald's a great guy and a good person, but I just don't think he's suited to be president of the United States.
My. What an epiphany. What a flip of the script. And on the line to discuss that, he's tracked the career of Chris Christie since he was back as a freeloader in New Jersey a long, long time ago. I'm talking about Steve Adubato, anchors 3 separate public TV broadcasts. And, in fact, I just came from one of them at the Tisch Studios there at Lincoln Center, Channel 13. I expected to see you there, Steve, but it was your partner.
No, it was my partner, Raphael Puerman. By the way, I was not a freeholder. I was a state representative. I just want to get our facts straight here, Curtis.
No, I said...
The facts are straight before that.
I say Chris Christie, a freeloader. That's the one election, remember, he lost.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. They're talking about me.
No.
I was a state representative.
Well, then you were a freeloader. There's no doubt about that. But you know this guy. In fact, I was talking with...
I thought I knew him before this.
Right. Well, I was talking with your partner, Raphael, who's also had conversations with then U.S. Attorney Chris Christie. He'd come in without the huge entourage. Then even in the first term as governor, very affable towards you and Raphael, although at times combative.
In a good way.
But what happened this second term? I mean, it's like attention deficit disorder.
Listen, you want... First of all, you did what you just did and ran those clips from the governor, and the governor will deal with those. The governor is going to have to own those, and the governor can't run away from them. I got to tell you something. I respect and like Chris Christie. For me to say I'm not disappointed in this endorsement is disingenuous. I don't like Donald Trump. I don't respect Donald Trump. I actually agreed with virtually everything that Chris Christie said while he was a candidate about Donald Trump. I don't think you can easily just say I didn't mean it or never mind. But the fact is, Chris Christie, who is a smart politician, made a calculated decision that this was where he wanted and needed to be. So when he was asked over the weekend, how is Donald Trump going to pay for the wall, Governor Christie turned around and said, don't ask me, ask Trump. Well, the fact is, Christie was asking the same question. The problem, I think, for the governor, Governor Christie, is going to be, how can you just stand by when Trump doesn't clearly disavow a David Duke from the KKK? How can you stand by a Trump when he mocks a New York Times reporter with a disability by trying to physically make fun of him? How can you stand by him when he says the things he does that are terrible about women and all kinds of people about their physical appearance? That's not the Chris Christie I know, and I got to tell you, I personally and professionally like the governor a lot. I think he's going to be challenged to have to defend this guy. I really believe that, Curtis.
Well, remember, he went around the first time with Romney. He warmed up the crowd. He was the barker.
He was good at it.
Right, he was very good. Obviously, Trump did that with Sarah Palin initially, although you haven't seen her in a month.
Didn't work.
Right. And now with Chris Christie, what did you make of that?
Nah.
Wait a second. When he turns to Christie, Donald Trump, he's ready to take to the microphone and says, you, go there. Get on that plane. Go home. Hey, Chris Christie, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What was that?
Curtis, you're my friend. I love you.
I know, but...
And listen, I vehemently disagree with the governor on this endorsement, but I think he was just saying, Chris, look, you've done enough. Take my private plane and go home.
Yeah, but you see, that is his Achilles heel. As we've seen with Jerry Jones, owner of the Cowboys, flying your governor to and from Cowboy games, keeping him up in the owner's box. And we saw him with that incredibly outrageous outfit one time. It stood out like a sore thumb. Then remember, the king of Jordan flew him over to Amman, Jordan. I think he likes the ostentatious lifestyle and the tchotchkes and perks that go with it.
Well, listen, I always tell people my PhD is not in psychology. You know, it's close, but it's not that. I'm not going to get inside or try to get inside of Chris Christie's head. I'm going to deal with the fact that he has endorsed a guy who I think is dangerous. He's endorsed a guy who I think is dangerous. Forget about for the Republican Party, but for the nation, who can't stand behind the things he says and who has no explanation for how he's going to pay for the wall. And you made it clear, and Chris Christie made it clear, that the leaders of Mexico today and in the past say there's no way in the world. And Donald Trump telling people who cheer for him, don't worry, I make deals. It'll be a big wall. It's insane.
But probably the touchiest.
That's the irony.
The touchiest subject is, as you know, Chris Christie at one point approached then Attorney General Eric Holder, was so angry at Michael Bloomberg and Kelly for dispatching NYPD to observe Muslims in worship in their mosques and their cultural centers, at their bookstores in Patterson, in Newark, in New Brunswick. He wanted a civil rights lawsuit filed against him. And now he's standing next to the guy who won't let any Muslims come in.
Curtis, I'm going to take it a step further. The Chris Christie I know and respect and like, in 2011, appointed a Muslim judge. And when people challenged it, when people wanted to know this guy's credentials and wanted to say, how can you appoint a Muslim judge post 9/11, Chris Christie said, how dare you? He's an American. Well, I'm an Italian-American. Your family has background from Europe as well, Curtis. Chris Christie does as well. Christie stood up, and that's one of the reasons I like him and respect him. And he said, are you kidding me? We can't bar someone because they have a Muslim background in their family. That's their ethnic heritage. And he challenged those people. How the hell can he stand by Donald Trump, who wants to ban Muslims? You can't just say we have a disagreement on an issue. That's a core question about the Constitution and whether it's going to work for every American citizen. I don't think the governor can just blow that one off. And Donald Trump, listen, my hope and my prayer is that Chris Christie can actually help Donald Trump see the world as it should be and soften some of these insane, ridiculous positions he espouses that has made him so popular with who I believe, I respect the people who like him, But some of the people like David Duke and others scare the hell out of me.
I know, but Steve Adubato, I noticed that as they were both coming down the stairs on the tarmac in Texas from the Trump 727, boy, the governor's put that weight right back on. I think when he, I think when he was on that stage, the boards underneath the plywood started to creak, and that's why Trump said, "Hey, take the plane out of here. I can't afford to get injured."
Just when I think we're having a meaningful policy discussion,
he's huge. He's gotten huge. He's a whale again.
The governor's taking care of. First of all, campaigns are not healthy for you. The governor's doing his best. Let's stay on the subject, which is that Donald Trump is dangerous. I disagree with the governor and his endorsement. I wish his family well. I wish him great health.
You got to tell him, no more 2 sausage and pepper sandwiches at the same time. It's not good for him, Steve. It's not good for him.
77 WABC. Traffic and Transit.